This evening, federal terrorism charges after a horrific attack on a commuter train in Chicago. Prosecutors say the suspect seen on surveillance allegedly setting a woman on fire. Tonight here, we do have news on her condition, and here's ABC's Rhiannon Alley.
Tonight, the man seen in these surveillance images allegedly setting a woman on fire on a Chicago commuter train is facing federal terrorism charges.
A 26-year-old woman was deliberately set on fire by Lawrence Reed in an unprovoked attack.
According to a criminal complaint and train surveillance, on the night of November 17th, 50-year-old Lawrence Reed, holding a small bottle, approaches the woman from behind, where he took the cap off the bottle and poured a liquid from the bottle all over the victim's head and body. Prosecutors say he lit the bottle and used it to light her on fire.
When the train stopped and the victim was able to muster the strength to stumble on the platform, two good Samaritans put out the flames.
Reed was captured about 12 hours later. Surveillance images from a gas station allegedly show Reed filling a bottle with gasoline before the attack. David, Reed faces life if convicted. That rider still has critical injuries. Prosecutors are now asking for prayers.
And gentlemen, I hope you're all having a great and wonderful day. Well, what we have here is just another time of violence in Chicago, and where black people seem to just act like animals always. So what we have is a woman that was set ablaze by a black man, because it was a black man. Why are we surprised by this? It's just really crazy on how we are going up in this world to where we're just allowing crime, these things to happen. And we're also going to find out on how long this guy was actually, how many times he had charges, because, obviously these judges are terrible. So without further ado, let's get to the end of this. So we have this here. Woman 26 is set ablaze on Chicago train by male passenger months after Ukrainian refugee died at the hands of a subway rider. This is just go to show, guys, that maybe we should just stay away from Subway. Not safe, obviously, because if they were safe, this wouldn't be happening on a consistent basis, all right? It's probably your best bet to stay away from them, because they have been housed and trained by single mothers that cannot raise kids correctly. So, we're just gonna be $1.50 on that. So, you guys can call me racist or towards black people. I don't really care, because at that point, being called a racist is not really powerful anymore. The real ones that are racist here are the people who are saying it. So let's just make this $1.50. A woman was set on fire by an unidentified male passenger while riding on the transit system in Chicago, months after a Ukrainian refugee was stabbed to death on a commuter rail. The woman, 26, who police have not named, was riding a Blue Line train on the L when she realized she got into an argument with a man believed to be 45 years old. The argument escalated, setting the woman on fire. Yeah, so we're going to show you the look of the man. Don't worry. We're true on this channel. The suspect fled the scene and was taken into custody on Tuesday. The investigation is ongoing and no official charges have been filed. Police said that the fire was out by the time the authorities arrived and that the woman was seen stumbling out of the car before collapsing. The Chicago Fire Department transported her to a nearby hospital with severe burns, and she remains in critical condition. Several witnesses spoke to local news about the horror they witnessed when the woman was engulfed in flames. She had severe burns all over her upper torso, and half of her scalp was burnt off. Yeah, so, guys, I hate to say this, but I really want it to be where she lives. But, usually it's like a couple weeks or something like that where we really try to get to see on how much damage is done. Sometimes these burn victims, they'll survive for maybe a week or two or something like that, and then they end up passing away due to their injuries. But I'm hoping that this does not happen to this woman. Yeah, and this is what's happening here to this Irina Zarutska. Remember her, because she was the one that was stabbed in the neck and died. It was a very horrifying situation. And it says she was lucid and conscious and talking. I believe I overheard something along the lines of, "I can't believe I'm on fire." The woman said he joined a group of a dozen bystanders to help out put out the fire after she was attacked. He added that one woman held the victim and consoled her as others stood in silence or recorded on their phones. Here's another problem I have with our society here is that we would much rather we would much rather in our society watch people burn to death and and die instead of actually trying to help them. That's what our society is. I also would add this as well when it comes down to women in particular. Um, Men are not going to start helping women a lot because you ladies, for some apparent reason, you think it's a good idea to accuse the man that helped you and claim XSA. So when you don't get help after you've been attacked or something like that, blame yourselves because you're the ones that are not going out and calling out this bad behavior and therefore is causing more societal collapse. But of course, women to be accountable for anything is near impossible. He added that one woman held the victim and consoled her as the others stood in silence and recorded on their phones. Another witness told NBC5 Chicago that the woman appeared to be in a really bad state after the attack. Well, obviously, she was just burned alive. I mean, come on. What else do you expect her to be in great shape? I just saw a lady that was lying in the ground, and they were trying to give her CPR, and she looked like she was in an awful lot of pain. Well, yes. You ever been burned? Being burned is not fun, by the way. It's terrible. The incident is the latest in a string of violent attacks against women on public transit systems. Well, I don't want to say just women in particular. I think is more along the lines of I don't think it's really specifically against women. Obviously, they're easier targets, so there's that. But it's more along the lines of it's just violence in general because you are in these you're essentially in these cities where are in these states as well where they don't really charge people for crime, so we have that. So that's what we have here, right? And the woman was 27 years old. She survived the attack and was transported to a local hospital. Another similar incident. A woman named Debrina Conlon, 57, was killed after she was set on fire while riding the subway in New York. So, yeah, this is another thing that is an ongoing here in these little cities because apparently they will have to do it. So this is the guy that did it, guys. Yes, that's right. This is a woman here, or a guy that's just done this. So there you have it. It's quite interesting. So all we have to do is do a little bit of work here, right, to kind of show you the actual look of the man that did it, right? I mean, man stabbed woman in Chicago transit system, and then we have it to where a black man again stabbing another woman, and then a black man setting a woman on fire. I mean, come on, guys. At some point, you start connecting the dots and start realizing who it actually is, because we know who did it. It was a black man. This man set a woman on fire on a train in Chicago this week. Chicago will name the judges who made the detention decisions if and when the man is charged with the CTA attack. Police records show CPD alone has arrested the man 22 times since 2016, with today's arrest being his 23rd. So it goes to show that the judges are not doing anything whatsoever to make sure that these people are jailed. And honestly, at this point in time, this person deserves a death penalty. We should not be paying for this guy to be released at all. Plain and simple. I think this guy needs to have the death penalty and not waste taxpayers' money. We would be saving a lot more on taxpayer money by not having to deal with this individual. He's obviously significantly broke the 3-strike rule, so I think he is warranted for death. Because at this point in time, we need to be a lot harsher on crime. We need to say, like, oh, if you do this, by the way, yeah, you're just gonna die. You're just gonna be died. Yep, you're just going to a box. Because we cannot be living in a society here, guys, where all this keeps happening and people are getting killed, people are getting hurt, because we have judges that are refusing to uphold the law. And I think a lot of these woke judges that are not upholding the law that are releasing these people need to be arrested and put in prison for at least 15 years. Now, you're going to say that's excessive. I don't think it's not. It will set a precedent on to judges that if a guy has been released, that maybe they'll be held accountable for their actions. Because I do not want judges seeing a guy that has done horrific crimes, especially if he's done really bad crimes 2 times, and they're like, nah, we're going to release him. And that's the problem I have with this here, is that so many of these damn woke judges are releasing these people out into the public and having them commit more crimes. It's crazy. We do not need to be living like this. And it's about high time that these judges start being faced heavy penalties, and I would start at the bare minimum 15 years, and then depending on how bad it is and how many people they've injured in that time span, the judges get the death penalty. Because at this point in time, you are deliberately just killing people. You are deliberately killing people because you want to be on this moral high ground, this suicidal empathy, because you think it's all great and good, because you have to have feelings because you feel bad. Well, I feel bad for the victim. I do not feel bad for the criminal that decided to commit this act of rape or killing someone because they just thought it was necessary. No, I don't feel bad for them. I feel bad for the victim that's either dead or been essayed, and they deserve to have justice. And the judge is supposed to set down that justice, and the judge fails immeasurably in every single way, so they need to face the justice of the hammer, and that is either their life or a long time in prison. And that could be dependent on how bad the crime is, because again, as I've been saying before, these judges are out of control. These woke judges are out of control. We need to do something. We need to fix this. No more of this chaos. All right, guys, that's it for the video. Like, subscribe, share. As always, take care, my friends.